about how she maybe had a ladder and you had to build yours from scratch. So I can understand, but there ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, shoot. Keep building, baby. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you didn't already know, act like you know, because it's not us. So let's hop right into this video. So today we are going to be reacting to this video by Honest. And this is how Twitter hated AC Lord, Abrams into a career. So before we hop in, you already know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's see why they're hating.
Gracie Abrams has managed to become quite a polarizing figure despite being
Wow.
a relatively ordinary pop star. She was co-signed by Taylor Swift,
Ah!
which is candidly the biggest endorsement one could receive as a newer artist. She was an opening act on the Eras tour.
Oh,
she
wow.
also opened on the Guts tour for Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay.
And she got a Taylor Swift feature
Booked
on
and
that
busy.
album, which is exceedingly rare. There's a clear audience that she's targeting. One might wonder what has prompted such polarization. And it's likely attributed to her being a Nepo baby. Her dad is J.J. Abrams, a notorious filmmaker and composer, known for films such as 2009's Star Trek, and the major Star Wars films released in the 2010s.
Okay.
His films have
So she
grossed
come from
over
money.
$4 billion, so obviously her family's well off and very well connected in the entertainment industry. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with taking advantage of the privileges that your parents or your family name has afforded you. There are many great, legendary, and talented Nepo babies who have proven to be great in their own right. I think there's a few factors that play into the Gracie Abrams pushback. One is just the era that we are in. People are craving a sense of realness and the tried and true optics of relatability. And on the other side of the spectrum, people are really appreciating and craving campiness and playfulness. Gracie's music or brand doesn't necessarily have a fun angle, so it leans into the more relatable approach. But in the eyes of people who truly value relatability and watching an artist grow, being a Nepo baby goes against that sentiment.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Honestly, like he said, there are plenty of great artists that have come from money, that have come from the industry. And at the end of the day, who gonna stop them? I mean, you, me, like, and plus that's not my life's purpose to stop people like that. I feel as though as long as she's not hurting anybody with her privilege and, you know what I mean, stepping on folks to get to where she's going, then cool, whatever. Because, I mean, Johnny Depp's children are also actors, or children or child, I don't remember. But anyways, great, so many phenomenal actors that we have out there that literally come from a lineage of entertainers, successful entertainers. Does it suck that maybe your friend from 8th grade that has been doing music, you know, from forever and is still trying to get their name out there, and then here comes Gracie Abrams, and she has the money, she has the support, and she doesn't have to worry about working 2-3 jobs. Yeah, it makes you feel stank. It makes you feel like, wow, why not me? And in moments like those, I would say look inward and look at all the great things that you do have, and the authenticity, because sometimes Nepo babies, they sometimes don't translate well in the mainstream media because they can't relate with somebody that has maybe struggled to go to college or had struggled from day one, or somebody that has had to work those 2 to 3 jobs, somebody that has been a hustler for their entire lives. I can understand that, that kind of like discrepancy and that kind of just like making you not feel great about how she maybe had a ladder and you had to build yours from scratch. So I can understand, but there ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, shoot, keep building, baby. You got this. Like,
it's also the fact that Gracie Abrams has received an enormous industry push and continues to receive one though the results have often been middling, and it begs the question, would this same opportunity be given to someone who didn't have connections in the industry? Many would assume not. Gracie kicked off her career with a couple of EPs.
Okay.
Mine were released in 2020, and this is what it feels like in 2021.
Oh, I thought she just came out this year.
The commercial reception to both EPs were relatively mute. Her debut album Good Riddance was released in 2023, an album produced by Aaron Dessner, who produced the Taylor Swift albums Evermore and Folklore.
Oh, okay.
Despite huge cosigns from Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift, the commercial performance of the album was also slim. It wasn't until 2024's The Secret of Us where the stars aligned for Gracie, and she truly started to pick up steam commercially.
Ooh, I like that song.
Of this record was,
that's so true from
Taylor
her.
Swift. Their collaboration for the album titled Us had record high streams for Gracie and certainly contributed to her highest peaking album on the charts at the time of this video, going number 1 in the UK and number 2 in the US. And of course, her continuing to be a figure on the Eras Tour likely added more attention to the record. But past Taylor Swift, and what has really continued to give this album and other songs life, is the viral discontent that people have expressed towards Gracie Abrams. If you've been on Twitter, you've likely seen Gracie Abrams tweet at some point during this year. Whether it's saying how bad her album photo shoot is, her music, her voice, there were no fists left unswung. What stuck out to me, though, is how her music began gaining streams after the negative viral reception to her song I Love You, I'm Sorry. Someone posted a clip of the music video in comparison to something else, and it gained extreme responses. It seemed like every other scroll there would be a tweet that expresses discontent with the Gracie Abrams song. But even more than that, the discontent with some of the current trends in popular music. One commenter said, "How did we go from Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston ballads to this?"
Oh my goodness.
Another person said,
"You cannot compare this young lady to Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. Those are music mogul legends, okay? These are legends. These are like the Supremes. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And to try to even set that type of expectation is so disingenuous, especially to her. She's a new artist. I mean, granted, I have not heard all the other songs on her album. I only know That's So True, and it's a good bop. It's a good bop. But would I sit up here and try to compare her in the slightest to Whitney Houston? That is crazy. And that's not even a jab to her. That's a jab to the people that are trying to make those comparisons, because it's just so out of... It feels like you're out of touch musically if you're trying to make those comparisons, because they just don't equate. You know, all due respect to Gracie Abrams, but all disrespect to the people that are trying to do that.
Such an interesting type of bad music. Like, it sounds good, I guess. It's so nothing, it has no substance. It just fills space. It's noise to me. And a lot of people seem to agree with this one. Another said, "It's the way she's acting like she's screaming the lyrics, but in reality, she's whispering." People took notice of how viral this clip had become, and there's a viral tweet that literally just says, "Stop putting this vid on my TL." Which is funny because I was not even familiar with Gracie Abrams until Twitter started slashing this song.
I only knew of her
I had heard her name, but she was not on my radar at all. And I did not intend on listening to a song of hers because I just didn't feel compelled to. There's just certain artists that will fade to the back of your mind, and Gracie was that for me. Following all these viral tweets, she experienced an increase in streams, and the song jumped up the charts.
They were
It's
hate listening.
very likely that the viral slander for this song helped propel more interest. And I say this from experience because, once again, she was not on my radar, but after seeing all these tweets, I wanted to know what all the fuss was about, and I listened to the song in full. Since then, another song called That's So True has become a huge hit for her. It even hit number 1 in the UK. Still, there are many tweets expressing discontent with Gracie and her music or joking about her. I think that overall, Gracie is a figure that draws upon a bit of cultural fatigue for people. It's like, why is this so easy for you to achieve? It's not like she's doing anything that brings a bit of freshness to the current landscape of pop music. Why should we give credence to this big machine push when the product is at best mediocre? I honestly believe that sentiment is what it's all really about. My very first impression...
I'm sorry, but I feel like that is also an insult to us listeners of music. Just because the machine pumps it into the algorithm doesn't mean that you are forced to go and listen to the person's music. That is a choice. And I think, if I'm not, leaping or, jumping to conclusions or anything, but that's kind of the same claim that Drake is trying to make with Kendrick's Not Like Us. He's saying that basically UGM kind of are the machine, if that's the name that we're going to give it, overly excessively promoted Kendrick's music, and therefore that's why it got all these streams, and the streams are made of, allegedly, made of bots, allegedly, and all this other stuff. It was pay to play kind of scheme. And I feel like that's such a disingenuous thing to do, because you can put that song in the algorithm all you want, but if it doesn't resonate, best believe I'm not going to click off of what other app I'm using to that I've heard this song on, and then go to Apple Music and listen to their song. No, it's not happening. So we still have that autonomy. We still are in control of what we listen to. So I feel like to say that basically is kind of removed, it's out of our hands, it's disingenuous, and it's not true at all. So they can pump the music all they want, but if you vibe with it, you're gonna go and listen to it. If you don't, you're not. And that's plain and simple. Or unless you're just a hate watcher, and I'm not familiar with those types of people. I don't have those type of people in my life. I don't, anyways.
Impression of Gracie Abrams was, wow, this sounds a lot like Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, but without their production value, songwriting intricacies, and the character in their voice. It sounds like a diet blend of something they would do, but it's missing that extra character. Her songs are definitely not the worst thing in the world, and I would say I actually like That's So True.
Me
However,
too.
her voice is very shrill and thin,
You know the
and
vibe,
at
but
times
you know
also
the
very
feeling.
processed.
That's my life.
And I
That's
think
my
that holds
life.
her back a lot. I think her voice can sound pleasant at times with the right soundscape, but it just has a very noticeable strained quality to it.
Feeling.
Now, her melodies are very solid, and I think they give her songs a lot of life. Her lyrics do have some sense of personal touch, but at the same time, it feels like a bastardized version of Taylor Swift. I cannot hear her songs without thinking about Taylor Swift. And I think that would be a huge monster on the hill for Gracie. She is not a creation of her own, and she does not have the illusion that she's a creation of her own.
She's just starting
Obviously,
out.
everyone has a team and help. That's not my point. The point is Gracie's career and branding feels so codependent and indebted to all of these other juggernauts. There's obviously her father, then she opened for Olivia Rodrigo, and has become a Taylor Swift mentee while making music that sounds so much like Taylor Swift at its core, it's insane. At this particular point in her career, she's definitely boxed herself in. Artists like Olivia Rodrigo, for example, are influenced by Taylor Swift, but her career in artistry has its own thing and appeal going for it, and isn't codependent on the power or artistry of Taylor Swift. She's gone on to explore harder territory and do her own thing. And I love how Olivia has taken reins over her own identity and continues to forge her own path into her own world and legacy. There's a big difference between influenced and essentially doing too close to comfort mimicry. And I think Gracie leans towards the latter. And honestly, leaning into Taylor, going on tour with Taylor, getting a collab with Taylor was likely her and her team's way out of muted pop stardom and onto the charts. And while it's certainly paying off now, only time will tell how it pans out in the future. So much of her rise and what she's done draws directly back to Taylor Swift. And I think that's a huge shadow to be cast over your career. And currently, I do think her artistry just rides that lane of coasting. It is interesting, though, that negative social media reception can turn out to be exactly what you might need to bring more eyes to your music. Hate listening or hate watching is one thing, but Gracie's music itself is not very polarizing. It's very agreeable in subject matter and production. It can easily be played on the radio. And even if the music and artist gets a lot of hate, I don't think it'll be like a total strikeout, just because the music is just very easy listening.
Honestly, I'm going to stop the video right there. I'll link the video down below for you guys that want to watch the original by Honest. But, honestly, she is just starting out. She put out her first couple EPs in 2020, according to Honest. And then she dropped an album in 2023. And then, now we have That's So True, or I don't remember the name of the album, but that's one of the songs in that album. Granted, I have not listened to all of her music, so it may very well be that it's a mimicry of Taylor Swift and she's in Taylor Swift's shadow. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of critiques. It's a lot of critiques, and that's why they say that if you're gonna do anything in the entertainment industry, content creator, podcaster, a singer, songwriter, I mean, just get ready to get whooped a little bit. Get whooped a little bit by the comments. If you are that type of person that, you know, engages with comments and whatnot, just get ready, because some people, their only sole purpose is not to see you do well, is to knock you down when you're trying to rise up and become your own. I say give it a few years. If she is still, you know, quote unquote, a mimicry of Taylor Swift, then hey, let her be that, and maybe she finds out that songwriting is more so her thing than being a artist. You know, so anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this video down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.